All India Radio presents Morning News. Good morning. I'm Sunil Verma and with me is VC Pramod. The headlines. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to address TERI's World Sustainable Development Summit today. Government to develop 22 greenfield expressways, 23 key infrastructure projects and 35 multimodal logistics parks as part of PM Gati Shakti National Master Plan. India's exports rise by over 36% to $61.41 billion in January this year. CBI issues lookout notice against former ABG Shipyard CMD and 8 others. India's COVID vaccination coverage reaches nearly 174 crore mark. Ravidas Jayanti is being celebrated across the country today. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to visit Guru Ravidas Vishram Dham temple in Delhi this morning. Veteran singer-composer Bappi Lahiri passes away in Mumbai. Russia announces partial withdrawal of troops from areas near Ukraine. Youth Affairs and Sports Ministry sanctions foreign exposure trips for athletes in wrestling, weightlifting and shooting at full cost to Government of India. And India to take on West Indies in first T20 of 3-match series in Kolkata today. With the new Omicron variant of coronavirus causing concern, we appeal to our listeners to be vigilant and to get fully vaccinated and help others, including children between 15 and 18 years, to get vaccinated. Please continue to follow these 3 simple steps to stay safe. Wear a face mask, maintain 2 gaz ki duri for social distancing, and focus on hand and face hygiene. For any COVID-related information and guidance, contact national helpline numbers 011-2397-8046 and 1075. As our nation celebrates the 75th year of independence, a series of events is being organized by the government as a part of Azadi Ka Amrit Mahatsav. To commemorate the occasion as a Janutsav, All India Radio News brings its listeners a special quiz on India's freedom movement and its glorious history. The quiz is conducted every Monday and Tuesday in Morning News since the 16th of August last year and will continue till the 15th of August this year. India Post has joined hands as the logistics partner with All India Radio News for the Amrit Mahotsav quiz. Recalling our yesterday's question, what is the real name of freedom fighter Vijay Singh Pathik, who led the Bijolia Kisan Andolan in Rajasthan? The correct answer is Bhoop Singh. Vijay Singh Pathik was also a well-known Hindi poet, writer and journalist. AIR News got an overwhelming response from its listeners from across the world, and the one lucky winner of the quiz is Ravi Bhushan Vadhwa from Jaipur, Rajasthan.
Thank you All India Radio for selecting me as the winner of this Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav quiz contest. I am obliged to feel really honored to receive this prize, and I must congratulate All India Radio for thinking of broadcasting this program, which is really great and an eye-opener or very informative for the youth of India who were not earlier aware of the sacrifice laid down by the freedom fighters who are unsung heroes. And my humble suggestion to the authorities is not to discontinue this Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav program to 15th August 22 only, but let it continue beyond that for another year or 2 for the benefit of all.
The next question of Amrit Mahotsav quiz will be shared with listeners on Monday, 21st of February. Celebrate 75 years of India's independence by participating in Amrit Mahotsav quiz with AIR News. And now the news in details. Prime Minister Narendra Modi will deliver the inaugural address at the Energy and Resources Institute's TERI World Sustainable Development Summit today via video message. The summit is TERI's annual flagship event, and the theme for this year is Towards a Resilient Planet, Ensuring a Sustainable and Equitable Future. It will discuss a wide range of issues including climate change, sustainable production, energy transitions, global commons and resource security. The three-day summit starting today will be attended by the President of Dominican Republic, Luis Abinader, President of Guyana, Dr. Irfan Ali, Deputy Secretary General of United Nations, Amina J. Mohammed, heads of various intergovernmental organizations, and ministers and envoys from more than a dozen countries and delegates from over 120 countries.
Ravidas Jayanti, the birth anniversary of Sant Ravidas, is being celebrated across the country today. Sant Ravidas was a 14th century saint and founder of the Bhakti movement in North India. Lakhs of people converge at Sri Guru Ravidas Janam Asthan Mandir, Sir Govardhanpur in Varanasi to celebrate his anniversary. Prime Minister Narendra Modi will visit Guru Ravidas Vishram Dham temple in Karulbak, Delhi today on the occasion of Ravidas Jayanti. In a tweet, Mr. Modi said he will pray for the welfare of the people there. He said the way Guru Ravidas dedicated his life to eliminate evil practices like caste and untouchability from the society is inspiring for everyone. He stated that his government has imbibed the spirit of Guru Ravidas in every step and every scheme. Mr. Modi also said that the construction work in the memory of Guru Ravidas in Kashi is progressing with full grandeur.
President Ramnath Kovind has greeted people on the occasion of birth anniversary of Guru Ravidas. In his message, the President said, Guru Ravidas was a great saint, poet and social reformer who tried to eradicate social evils and bring about harmony in the society through his devotional songs. He is considered a leading poet saint of the Bhakti movement. Mr. Kovind said, Guru Ravidas tried to inculcate the feeling of mutual love and equality among the people. He added that his teachings of peace and fraternity are even more relevant today. He asked people to pledge to follow the path shown by Guru Ravidas and contribute in building a society based on equality and harmony. Home Minister Amit Shah paid tributes to Guru Ravidas on his birth anniversary today. In a tweet, Mr. Shah said, Guru Ravidas showed the path of welfare of mankind by awakening spiritual consciousness in the society with his thoughts and creations. He said, the saint's message of unity and equality will always guide people. Mr. Shah added that the government is working to raise the standard of living of every section of the society.
Delhi Lieutenant Governor Anil Baijal has declared a holiday in the capital today on the occasion of Guru Ravidas Jayanti. Mr. Baijal said that on the occasion of Guru Ravidas Jayanti, a holiday has been declared in all government offices under the Delhi government today. Due to this, the work in government offices in Delhi will remain closed. India's overall exports in January this year are estimated to be $61.41 billion, exhibiting a positive growth of 36.76% over the same period last year and a positive growth of 38.9% over January 2020. Overall imports in January this year are estimated to be $67.76 billion, exhibiting a slower rate of growth of 30.54% over the same period last year and a positive growth of 30.19% over January 2020. Talking to All India Radio, Minister of State for Commerce and Industry, Som Prakash, said India's exports growth and said our target is to achieve $400 by the end of March.
ये बड़े गौरव की बात है। भारत में रिकॉर्ड एक्सपोर्ट्स हो रहे हैं। आत्मनिर्भर भारत में प्रधानमंत्री ने जैसे चाहा कि बहुत एक्सपोर्ट करें। इंडिया की एक्सपोर्ट्स है पहले 10 महीने में $335 मिलियन हो चुकी है। एक रिकॉर्ड है। हमारा टारगेट है साल 31 मार्च तक $400 बिलियन का एक्सपोर्ट करने का। इसको हम अचीव नहीं करेंगे, सरपास भी करेंगे। प्रधानमंत्री भी जैसे चाहते हैं कि आत्मनिर्भर भारत बने, यहाँ से क्वालिटी प्रोडक्शन हो, एक्सपोर्ट ज्यादा से ज्यादा हो, उसी पे काम कर रहे हैं। सेटिस्फाइड बहुत अच्छी बात है कि इंडिया इसकी तरफ तेजी से बढ़ रहा है।
Ministry of Road Transport and Highways plans to develop 22 greenfield expressways, 23 key infrastructure projects and 35 multimodal logistics parks as part of the PM Gati Shakti National Master Plan. Gati Shakti is a digital platform which brings 16 ministries including railways and roadways together for integrated planning and coordinated implementation of infrastructure connectivity projects for industrial cluster and economic nodes. Some of the major expressways and corridors which are under construction stage include Delhi-Mumbai Expressway, Ahmedabad-Dholera Expressway, Delhi-Amritsar-Katra Expressway and Bengaluru-Chennai Expressway. Some of the major key infrastructure projects which are under construction stage include construction of Zojila Tunnel in Ladakh, roads to connect Krishnapatnam Port in Andhra Pradesh, and two-laning of Lalpul-Manmau Changing Road in Arunachal Pradesh.
You are listening to the morning news on All India Radio. A reminder of the headlines before we move on. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to address TERI's World Sustainable Development Summit today. Government to develop 22 greenfield expressways, 23 key infrastructure projects and 35 multi-modal logistics parks as part of PM Gati Shakti National Master Plan. India's exports rise by over 36% to $61.41 billion in January this year. CBI issues lookout notice against former ABG Shipyard CMD and 8 others. India's COVID vaccination coverage reaches nearly 174 crore mark. Ravidas Jayanti is being celebrated across the country today. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to visit Guru Ravidas Vishram Dham temple in Delhi this morning. Veteran singer, composer Bappi Lahiri passes away in Mumbai. Russia announces partial withdrawal of troops from areas near Ukraine. Youth Affairs and Sports Ministry sanctions foreign exposure trips for athletes in wrestling, weightlifting and shooting at full cost to Government of India. And India to take on West Indies in the first T20 of 3-match series in Kolkata today. For quick news updates round the clock, follow us on Twitter at AIR News Alerts.
अपने बिजनेस को बढ़ाने के लिए लीजिए आकाशवाणी का सहयोग और दीजिए उसे बुलंदियों के पंख।
आपका बिजनेस लोकल है या राष्ट्रीय, आकाशवाणी देती है उपभोक्ताओं तक पहुंचने का हर विकल्प।
और अब तो आप घर, दफ्तर या दुकान पर बैठे बैठे कर सकते हैं आकाशवाणी के किसी भी केंद्र के लिए विज्ञापनों की बुकिंग।
आकाशवाणी के विभिन्न चैनलों पर विज्ञापन देना सुलभ और सस्ता।
बुकिंग है तो संपर्क करें 8700014242 पर।
8700014242।
Central Bureau of Investigation has issued lookout notices against former CMD of ABG Shipyard, Rishi Agrawal, and 8 others in connection with the 22,842 crore rupees bank fraud case. The move is aimed at ensuring that the accused do not leave the country while the cases pertaining to bank loan fraud are being probed. According to CBI, a forensic audit report it received from the banks 2 years ago had found instances of fraud in April 2012 and July 2017. In its biggest bank fraud case, the CBI had on Friday the 12th booked ABG Shipyard Limited and its former CMD, along with others, for allegedly cheating a consortium of banks led by SBI of over 22,842 crore rupees. India's COVID vaccination coverage has reached nearly 174 crore mark. The Health and Family Welfare Ministry said more than 37 lakh vaccine doses were administered till 7 p.m. yesterday. More than 1.79 crore precaution doses have been administered so far to the eligible beneficiaries. In the age group of 15 to 18 years, more than 5 crore 26 lakh vaccine doses have been administered as first dose and 1 crore 75 lakh as second dose.
And now let's listen to our special program Azadi Ka Safar, highlighting the importance of the day during the freedom struggle.
आजादी का अमृत महोत्सव।
Azadi Ka Safar with AIR News. Birth of a nation. India's glorious freedom struggle is one of the greatest struggles the modern world has ever witnessed. AIR News brings you a glimpse of this struggle every day.
In today's episode, we remember one of the prominent activists of the Indian Renaissance, Rajendra Lal Mitra, who was born on the 16th of February 1822 in Calcutta. Rajendra Lal was famous as one of the most learned men of India of his time and knew Hindi, Sanskrit, Persian, Urdu, English, French, Greek and Latin.
Rajendra Lal laid the foundation of the tradition of the study of Indian antiquities by Indians themselves. He worked throughout his life in the Asiatic Society and rose from the rank of librarian to the Society's first Indian president in 1885. Some of his pioneering works include the Sanskrit Buddhist literature of Nepal, the antiquities of Orissa, and Buddha Gaya, the hermitage of Shakya Muni.
Buddham saranam gacchami.
Rajendra Lal was the chairman of the reception committee during the second session of the Congress that was held in Calcutta in 1886. He was one of the first Indians to be honoured by scholarly and learned bodies in Europe in the 19th century. He was admitted as an honorary member of the Royal Asiatic Society of Great Britain and Ireland. He was also honoured in Vienna and Italy. We salute the great Indian.
We also remember the eminent scientist Meghnad Saha, who died on the 16th of February 1956. Saha was forced to leave his school for his participation in the Swadeshi movement.
While Meghnad was in school, the governor of Bengal came to inspect his school. Many students, including Meghnad, opposed the imperialist British governor. As a punishment, the school administration stopped Meghnad's scholarship and threw him out of the school. Later, he took admission in a private school. During higher studies at Presidency College, Saha was fortunate to have teachers like Jagdish Chandra Bose, Sharada Prasanna Das, and Prafulla Chandra Ray. His class fellows included Satyendranath Bose and Bagha Jatin.
Saha's best-known work concerns the thermal ionization of elements, and it led him to formulate what is known as the Saha equation. He also invented an instrument to measure the weight and pressure of solar rays and helped to build several scientific institutions such as the Physics Department in Allahabad University and the Institute of Nuclear Physics in Calcutta.
As the chairperson of the Calendar Reforms Committee set up in 1952, Saha helped assimilate 30 kinds of Indian calendar systems into one national calendar. Saha was nominated for the Nobel Prize in Physics multiple times and was also elected to the first Lok Sabha in 1952 as an independent candidate. He worked as a professor of Allahabad University and thereafter as professor and dean at the University of Calcutta until his death in 1956. AIR salutes the great patriot scientist.
We also remember freedom fighter Balcha, who took part in the Bhumkal revolt in 1910 in the Jagdalpur area of Bastar against feudal and colonial exploitation. In the intense battle known as the Indravati Fort Battle that took place on the 16th of February 1910, Balcha and his associates fought against the British. When the defeat was imminent, Balcha managed to escape along with his associates and rallied around the neighbouring villages. However, they were surrounded on the night of 25th of February by the British forces and captured.
The freedom fighters were charged with waging war against the British Crown and tried in the famous Jagdalpur trial. 78 of the freedom fighters, including Balcha, were imprisoned in Bastar jail, but later, in June 1910, shifted to the Raipur Central Jail, where he died suffering ill treatment and tortures by the jail authorities. We salute the great martyr.
That brings us to the end of this episode of Azadi Ka Safar with AIR News. See you in the next episode tomorrow.
स्वाधीनता संग्राम के वे निशान जो साक्षी हैं हमारे सेनानियों के संघर्ष और बलिदान के। आकाशवाणी समाचार ला रहा है विशेष श्रृंखला निशान। हर बुधवार को शाम 4:45 पर कार्यक्रम परिक्रमा में FM गोल्ड 100.1 मेगाहर्ट्ज पर।
Best wishes to all consumers for Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav. Hallmark ensures purity of gold. Always purchase Hallmark gold jewelry. For any consumer-related complaints, please contact National Consumer Helpline's toll-free number 14404. Issued in public interest by Department of Consumer Affairs, Government of India, Jago Grahak Jago. First two phases of polling in Uttar Pradesh is over now, and all political parties have shifted their focus to the other phases of elections in the state. Political parties have intensified their poll campaign to garner the support of the public. Many leaders, including Prime Minister Narendra Modi, will campaign in Uttar Pradesh today. Senior BJP leader and Prime Minister Narendra Modi will campaign in Sitapur district of Uttar Pradesh today. Senior BJP leader and Defence Minister Rajnath Singh will campaign for party candidates in Kanpur and Lucknow districts. Uttar Pradesh Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath, BJP MP and former Congress President Rahul Gandhi, Congress General Secretary Priyanka Gandhi Vadra will campaign in Varanasi. Aam Aadmi Party leader Sanjay Singh and Samajwadi Party Chief Akhilesh Yadav are also scheduled to campaign in Varanasi today.
In Odisha, voting for the first phase of the three-tier Panchayat elections has begun. About 67,51,000 voters are exercising their franchise in this phase to elect their respective representatives, including 200 Zilla Parishad members and 1,669 Sarpanches. More from our correspondent.
Polling in the first phase of the five-phase Panchayat election is going on in over 22,000 booths in 71 blocks across all the 30 districts of the state. Polling that began at 7 in the morning will continue till 1 p.m. in the afternoon. Out of over 22,000 polling booths, 3,357 booths have been identified as sensitive, for which elaborate security arrangements have been made. The State Election Commission has deployed 225 platoons of police force to ensure smooth conduct of the Panchayat polls that is being held in 5 phases, the last phase being on the 24th of this month. Girish Chandra Das, AIR News, Bhubaneswar.
The Union Cabinet has approved the setting up of G20 Secretariat and its reporting structures. The Secretariat will be responsible for implementation of overall policy decisions and arrangements needed for steering India's forthcoming G20 presidency. India will hold the presidency of the G20 from 1st of December this year to 30th of November 2023, culminating with the G20 summit in India in 2023. G20 is a premier forum for international economic cooperation that plays an important role in global economic governance.
Hours after Russia has announced to start pulling out troops from the Ukraine border after weeks of build-up, President Vladimir Putin has said it does not want a war in Europe. Addressing a joint press conference after talks with German Chancellor Olaf Scholz, Russian President Putin called for the conflict to be resolved through diplomacy with the West. He also said Moscow is ready to discuss confidence building with the US and its NATO allies. Earlier in the day, Russia said that some of its forces deployed near the Ukrainian border were returning back to their bases. NATO Secretary General Jens Stoltenberg said the Russian announcement gave cause for cautious optimism, but so far there has been no evidence of the de-escalation on the ground. US Secretary of State Antony Blinken told Russian counterpart Sergei Lavrov during a call that verifiable, credible, meaningful de-escalation by Moscow is needed. Earlier, British Prime Minister Boris Johnson tweeted that there were mixed signals coming from Russia.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi has expressed sadness at the demise of veteran singer Geeta Shri Sandhya Mukhopadhyay. In a tweet, he said, her melodious renditions will continue to enthrall the coming generations.
Music composer and singer Bappi Lahiri passed away at a Mumbai hospital this morning. He was 69. Bappi Lahiri is known for delivering popular songs in several films of the late 1970s and 80s like Chalte Chalte, Disco Dancer and Sharabi.
जैसे कहो वैसे चाहूं जानूं। चलते चलते मेरे ये गीत याद रखना, कभी अलविदा ना कहना, कभी अलविदा ना कहना।
His last Bollywood song, titled Bhankas, was for the 2020 film Bhagi 3.
Union Ministry of Youth Affairs and Sports has sanctioned foreign exposure trips for athletes across the sports of wrestling, weightlifting and shooting at full cost to the Government of India. The government has approved the participation of women and men's wrestling teams in the 59th International Wrestling Tournament Seniors to be held in Bulgaria from February the 17th to 20th. A total of 20 men's wrestlers across the freestyle and Greco-Roman categories will be taking part, while 10 coaching staff will accompany them. The women's wrestling contingent consists of 10 wrestlers and 5 support staff.
India will take on the West Indies in the T20 International Series starting from today in Kolkata. Rohit Sharma, who successfully led India against West Indies in the ODI series, will be the skipper for the T20I Series 2, whereas Kiran Pollard will be captaining the Caribbean team and look to change their fortunes in the T20I series. Young Indian wicketkeeper batter Rishabh Pant is elevated to the role of vice-captaincy in T20 OIs for the 3-match home series against West Indies, which begins from today.
And now let us take a look at the weather forecast for today. Srinagar will have generally cloudy sky with light rain. Temperature will hover between 1 and 12 degrees Celsius. Jammu will have mainly clear sky becoming partly cloudy towards afternoon or evening. The minimum temperature will be 9 degrees Celsius while the maximum will be around 22. Leh is likely to witness partly cloudy sky. Gilgit will have partly cloudy sky as well. Muzaffarabad will have partly cloudy sky with the possibility of rain or thunderstorm or dust storm. The national capital, Delhi, is likely to have mist in the morning and the temperature will vary between 9 and 27 degrees Celsius. Mumbai will have mainly clear sky. The minimum temperature was 17 degrees Celsius while the maximum is expected to be around 28 degrees. Chennai is likely to have fog or mist in the morning and partly cloudy sky later. Kolkata will have mainly clear sky. Bengaluru is likely to have fog or mist in the morning and partly cloudy sky later.
And now an overview of today's newspapers. Russia pulls back some troops, exit Ukraine. India tells citizens, headlines the Tribune. First blink signal. Putin says partial pullback, writes the Indian Express. Lookout circulars against biggest bank scamsters is the top headline in the Pioneer. The paper quotes the CBI as saying over 100 bank fraud cases not filed for want of consent by state governments. The news of the death of actor Deep Sandhu has been carried in most dailies. Deep Sandhu, accused in the Red Fort case, dies in accident, writes the Asian Age. Delhi considers lifting more curbs as cases dip, reports Hindustan Times. Sensex seesaw of 3,500, its sixth biggest two-day swing, writes the Times of India. And finally, the Tribune reports more than 1,000 government schools of Jammu division have created happiness zones within the schools where students can feel safe and psychologically comfortable.
And now, before we end the bulletin, the headlines once again. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to address Terry's World Sustainable Development Summit today. Government to develop 22 greenfield expressways, 23 key infrastructure projects, and 35 multimodal logistics parks as part of PM Gati Shakti National Master Plan. India's exports rise by over 36% to $61.41 billion in January this year. CBI issues lookout notice against former ABG Shipyard CMD and 8 others. India's COVID vaccination coverage reaches nearly 174 crore mark. Ravidas Jayanti is being celebrated across the country today. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to visit Guru Ravidas Vishram Dham temple in Delhi this morning. Veteran singer-composer Bhati Lahiri passes away in Mumbai. Russia announces partial withdrawal of troops from areas near Ukraine. Youth Affairs and Sports Ministry sanctions foreign exposure trips for athletes in wrestling, weightlifting and shooting at full cost to Government of India. And India to take on West Indies in first T20 of 3-match series in Kolkata today. And with that, we end the morning news. Have a nice day.